Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Daphne St. Clair, and I'm here with the wonderful Logan, who is not only the co-writer, but also the director and also the stage manager of My Time Will Come. We'll be talking all things that and more, talking about Canadian theatre, what the heck it is. And so, Logan, tell me a bit about yourself and your connection to this project.
Oh, okay. I so I'm kind of just new to theater in general. I actually just graduated high school last year, so I've met Murillo in college. He's the lead artist of this, of My Time Will Come, and he hired me originally just as the stage manager, and then he then promoted me to being the writer, and then we realized that we needed an actual director, so then I became the director about a week before the tech rehearsal and directed the entire show in a week. Basically, I we called me basically our theater Swiss Army knife because I did basically anything that the show needed.
That is wonderful. A theater Swiss Army knife. Don't we all need one of those? I feel like every show needs a theater Swiss Army knife. So tell me, so you're new to theater, likewise so am I. I mean, that's why I'm doing these interviews, to learn and grow. And so tell me about your new experience in this theater world. Positive, negative, whatever you've got to share.
Well, I mean, describing the process, it has been one of the most chaotic things I've ever been a part of. But even though it's kind of been stressful and stuff like that, it has been honestly really rewarding. Even though like My Time Will Come, it hasn't been like a big success. It's been like a moderate success, at least for me. Is that it still has been really, really rewarding that to be able to be kind of new to the scene and be able to have like get a couple $100.
Right. So you say it's not been a great success. It's only been a moderate success. So how would you define success? Is it a monetary thing, or is there something else that maybe you were looking for in this process that would make it more of a success to you?
Well, I'll be honest. It's the thing of like I was hi- when I became the director was very late in the process. So to me, for like more of a success, it would have been to actually have had that kind of role beforehand because as as much as I do like what I was able to do in a week with direction, I still I know that it could have been better if there was more time basically, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I feel like we're all begging for more time. I mean, that's the My Time Will Come is the name of the show, right? So can you talk to me a bit about that and the show's relation to time itself?
My time will come. Uh My Time Will Come. This this is something. It's kind of weird for me to talk about because usually Murillo has like the entire pitch thing. But My Time Will Come is a story basically set in Brazil, which is Murillo's home country. I'm Canadian born. I'm the only non-immigrant in the entirety of the cast or crew. And basically, with My Time Will Come, the time is like two different things. One, like your time to try to do good, be better. And also time is in when you're gonna die, basically. And that, it's kind of also become our motto as well with the cast and crew of like, our time will come has basically been like, you know, one, when the show's gonna end, then that's the end, that's the death of the show kind of. But also leading up to it, it was like our time will come where we can actually do this and hopefully bring a little bit of good into the world with what we did.
That's wonderful. A plethora of things in this one show. That's very exciting. And I've been asking everyone this, and I'm curious your thoughts as a newly graduated high school student and newly in the theater scene. What or how would you define Canadian theater as you've seen it in your time with My Time Will Come, or through shows you've seen at the Fringe, or just your overall experience in this theater world?
Okay. Well, a lot of stuff when it comes to Canadian theater. So I've done like I've done like some college stuff like research into the history of theater And right now, I kind of think that Canadian theater is in like a phase where it's kind of in flux, where I'm not entirely sure what it will be in the end, but like if you look back at history, every time there are any sort of crisis, that theater changes a lot. And like our crisis wasn't as flashy as like the World War that made absurdism a thing, but we still have gone through, the quarantine, that sort of stuff, and there are other things that are on the rise, like the rise of AI, stuff like that. Is like, it's not really called a crisis, but to me, it's gonna become one. and and right now, it's like, to me, theater in Canada is at this point where it can become something new, and I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, but I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Wonderful. And where would you like it to go? Do you have any wonderful future plans for Canadian theater? I mean, you would be this new generation of theater makers. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not entirely sure yet. It's the thing of like, I want to just start making more things, random ideas, see what people actually like, because that's also another part. It's like, you can make as much as the art that you like, but in the end, you also have to make something other people actually care about. But to me, like, when it comes to my own personal stuff, this isn't as much as my time will come, because Murillo's the lead artist on that, and I've mostly just been supporting him, is that I love absurdism and stuff like that, and I think that maybe a new kind of evolution to it, and I'm not exactly sure what it would be. I just, at this point, I just want to make stuff, and then I've sort of had the thing of like death of the artist, where I want to make things, and I don't want to have any meaning of them to me, and just let somebody else figure out what it means.
That's wonderful. So has that been influenced at all by this process, or is this something that you've always kind of thought about what you want your art to be?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really thought of it. You asking the question made me come up with something, and that's what I came up with.
That's wonderful. I mean, we're all learning together, right? So that's just wonderful. This whole process has been a learning process, so as with anything. And speaking of learning, what have you learned about yourself in this process? Especially, you mentioned you're being a support more than I guess the head of the piece. So how has that brought you learning or growth?
Well, it basically, especially with the amount of roles I've been doing for the production, I've been able to learn about all the different like nuances for each of those roles, and it's also just been like, because I've never been in a professional theater before, like the tech day for one, that was one of the most trial by fires I've ever been in. We were programming lighting cues. Literally, I heard one of the technicians being like, "You have 1 minute left," and I was still programming more lighting cues. It is like, there are so many things that I've learned that it's hard to like say exactly like, oh, it was this thing, and this thing. But one, it's like, I know things now that it's like, I know how to prepare better for next time, basically. Because, to be honest, the production process for this has been kind of chaotic in all in all. But now, because of the chaos, it's kind of a good thing, because live through the chaos, now I know how to make it more orderly next time.
I mean, chaos isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? We've learned, we've grown, and I don't know, I find chaos kind of exciting, don't you? Right? And so, in the program, it mentions, where's the quote there? It mentions things about salvation, banditry, and revenge. Can you speak to those themes? I mean, even what does revenge mean to you? Have you sought revenge, or have you ever been a bandit? God forbid, but I'm curious.
Well, I have been abandoned before, but I don't necessarily want to get into that.
A bandit, like a thief. Don't worry, this is not a therapy session. Not to worry.
I've never been to a therapist, and I don't plan to. But well, I haven't necessarily been a bandit because if the police are watching, I have not done crimes that you know of. But when it comes to it's that most of that themes, it's because of the area of Brazil the story takes place in. It's basically the closest analog for like North America. It's the Wild West, kind of. Like there's a lot of differences, but that's the closest thing to like tell. And the character himself, the main character Tarso, he's a bastard man, honestly. He's the worst man that I could possibly write. It was really fun just being like, what is the worst thing this person could possibly say, and then writing it down in the script. He was basically a criminal overlord, and eventually he dies. Two people who are essentially bandits, and it's just those themes are the things that continue to try to grab him and drag him down into a worse life, while he attempts to try to become a better person after finally meeting kindness in his life. So that's mostly what the themes are about. Yeah, I don't exactly have any, because the story's a lot more personal to other people in the cast, because the cast is full of everyone but one cast member is a Brazilian immigrant, so a lot of them have a lot more of a connection to the story. Much more than me, who didn't even know the region before Murillo taught me it, basically. That I don't necessarily have as much of a personal connection, instead of the thing of like, I've known what it is to be like a piece of shit and try to become a better person. Most people who have been, everyone who's been a teenager knows how it's been to be a piece of shit and now is like trying to be better.
And in what ways are you trying to be better? Is this, have you been better in this process, in learning from your fellow cast members and directors? What has that been like? What is being better?
I mean, a lot of the times it's just trying to be a better person morally, but that's not necessarily the professional stuff. It's, well, learning from other directors has always been one of my favorite things, especially at the Fringe here, just going to other people's shows, you'd be able to see like the kind of things they do and learn like what you think would work and then try to incorporate that into your own style, because that's to basically make your art better by kind of by osmosis of other things you learn. And also just being a writer's like the first thing that I like doing, and so I've met a bunch of writers at the Fringe, and we've basically just started this might be like, it's not an entirely confirmed thing yet, but with some of the other writers for other Fringe shows, we might start doing like a group basically to try to help each other write for potentially next shows. So that's going to be like an interesting next growth. But with most of the being better right now, it has been one like learning how to interact with like professional actors, because my entire experience with dealing with actors has been teenage actors, which are a different breed. The people of like not even knowing if they're going to be there, and that has been probably the most growth I've had, is like learning the new professional environment, basically.
That's really, really wonderful. And you're building a community. I think that's a huge thing that I've learned through these interviews is people building up communities, inviting themselves into communities, being invited into communities. It's a very community-based process. And how has your Fringe experience been thus far? Is there anything else? I know we're on our last day tomorrow, so is there anything that you're looking forward to, whether that's, hanging out at the lovely Fringe patio with some community members, or is there a show that you're dying to see that you get to see tomorrow? Or tell me a bit about the past. Has there been a wonderful experience that you just want to share with our wonderful camcorder audience over there?
Uh, right. Well, right now I've had like some good experiences of just one sec. Like one of making like our show has been able to like make friends with other shows, which is one of my favorite things of like trying to like send audiences back and forth. Like I saw that you interviewed Henrique from Cancelled. He's one of our like show's best friends, honestly. Like I didn't know him from like a week ago, but now he's like one of the people that I'm excited to potentially work with in the future. And like going to see his show Cancelled was one of my favorite experiences because it was both one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and also somehow the ending still hit really hard. And for like things of the future, one, I'm going to see Cabaret of Murder tonight, which I've heard a lot of good things about. It got like the Volunteer Choice Award yesterday, which that was awesome for that guy. I was sitting like next to him, so I saw like the joy on his face the entire night. It was wonderful to see. Sorry.
We all cough. It's okay.
I'm an asthmatic. And also tomorrow I'm going to see Stiff and Sons, which one of my teachers from college is a part of that. Jack Rennie. He was a wonderful teacher, and I'm sure his show is going to be great as well. I've only heard good things about it. And also I'm going like basically just seeing a bunch of different people's shows has been amazing. Like it's always wonderful just to see what other people come up with, because Fringe is also like there are so many different things there. Nobody really like there's not ever a set thing, so you'd never really know what you're gonna get, and it's usually like surprisingly good, you know.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Surprisingly good. That's the Fringe, right? And is there anything else you'd like to let our little audience know before we sign off here?
Well, you said that you did the advertising for me, so I don't have to say that. So, no, I don't really think I do. Just like support the Fringe, tip it. We love to do this stuff next year, and I hope to see you guys next year.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Logan. I really did learn a lot about what the heck Canadian theatre is and where it's going, its future path. And to our audience, thanks again for tuning in. This is Daphne St. Clair signing off.